Hello, good morning everyone. Hope you all are good and I hope you have been watching video lectures on a regular basis. As you all know, we have been doing chapter 6, that is retirement or death of a partner. We are done completely with the concept of retirement of a partner, and in the last lecture we have started with the concept of death of a partner. I have given introductory idea about death of a partner. I mean how to deal with the practical examples regarding death of a partner. We have understood the theory concepts in detail in the last video lecture, which was the first lecture regarding death of a partner. All the previous lectures to that were related to the concept of retirement of a partner. Yes, so we had an theoretical idea, and in today's lecture we are going to solve the sums related to this concept. Yes, I hope you have studied the previous lecture thoroughly. The theory concepts that you have to apply practically in today's example that we are going to start. And I also hope you have done your homework and you have studied the specimen of deceased partner's capital account that we are going to prepare in today's sum. Please make sure that you have your textbook, your writing book and other essentials with you at the moment. And also, if you haven't studied the previous lecture, the very first lecture regarding the concept of death of a partner, the introductory lecture, in which I have explained the specimen and the necessary theory about how to prepare, how to deal, what are the accounting treatments when the death of a partner takes place. You should watch that lecture at first, and only then you are supposed to study the very first lecture of illustration 24, which is given on page number 254 of your textbook. You should watch this video lecture till end for complete understanding. So let us quickly begin. In your textbook and on your screen, page number 254, you can see you have a balance sheet given to you, and it says X, Y and Z are the partners sharing profit and loss in the ratio of 5:3:2. This is their old ratio. Balance sheet of the firm as on 31st/3/16 was as under. There are three partners, X, Y and Z. Their old ratio is 5:3:2. The balance sheet is as below. Okay. Further, you have the adjustments given below, just below the balance sheet. You can see there are only two adjustments, and they say that Z died as on 31st/12/16. The terms of partnership deed are as under. I request please ignore the sound appearing in background if any. Please concentrate on the sum that we are doing. Yeah. So this is for the very first time that we are instructed about the death of a partner. Till date we have been dealing with the sums related to the concept of a retirement of a partner. Out of three partners, one retires. Here the case is different. They say that one of the three partners will meet death, and they've said that Z died. There are three partners, X, Y and Z. Z died. Okay, so you know very well how to prepare deceased partner's capital account. What is the amount payable to the executor of Z? Who is an executor? Obviously, I have explained this in the previous lecture, and I hope you've studied it. Yes? I've given all the necessary instructions related to this sum in the previous lecture. That what is the amount to be credited, what is the amount to be debited when you prepare the executor's account, the partner who meets death. Yes? So please study that thoroughly. Only then you will be able to understand this particular sum that we are doing. And also, it has the concept of goodwill. Goodwill is the third chapter in your textbook. Yes? And this chapter we have learned very well in detail, along with the different methods that are given in your textbook, that how to obtain the value of goodwill as per different methods. Yes? So that concept is also utilized here. I have said this very clearly, ample of times, that you should pay complete attention to the previous lectures even if you want to understand the ongoing chapters, ongoing lectures. Yes, you can see very well the second adjustment presented on your screen is about goodwill, and the concept of goodwill we have learned in chapter 3. You have to find out the value of goodwill here. In the previous sums, the value of goodwill was readily given, but here you have to find out. So you must thoroughly study all the previous chapters even to understand the ongoing chapter. It is next to impossible to directly jump to whichever chapter you like. No, you need to follow the order. Fine then, these are the adjustments. They say that you are supposed to prepare Z's capital account. I mean, you are supposed to calculate the amount payable to Z's executor by preparing his capital account. Z is a person who dies, and we are supposed to prepare his capital account so that we can transfer the amount payable to Z to his executor's account. They've clearly written it here. The last line, if you can see, after second adjustment. Alright? So here is Z's capital account. This is very simple, extremely simple. When we were doing long sums regarding retirement of a partner, in that we used to prepare revaluation account, partner's capital accounts, or say current accounts, cash and bank, and balance sheet. So we have to focus on partners' capital accounts that we know how to prepare. We were having 3 columns of amount on each side of partner's capital account. Yes? Instead of that, you are having only 1 column here. Rest of the things remain same. Yeah? There is nothing new. Everything is similar to the partner's capital accounts that you already know how to prepare. The only difference is that you are preparing only capital account of only the partner who meets death. Remaining 2 partners you have excluded. Why? Because they haven't instructed us. They have simply instructed that you should prepare Z's capital account so that you can calculate the amount payable to Z's executor. Simple. So this is the capital account of Z. And here you have the necessary working notes. The sum is quite short. Alright, so let us begin. As I said, this is your balance sheet. You have adjustments. Here it is instructed you will prepare Z's capital account. So you have prepared, and these are the working notes. Okay, so let us start. Z's capital account, debit side and credit side. The column for amount, this is the column of amount for Z. As you know, every ledger account has two sides, debit as well as credit. So once the specimen is prepared, which is the very first thing that you write in partner's capital account? Of course, the opening balance of capital. This is similar. The way we used to write the amount of opening capital, the opening balance of capital, with respective amount in the column of all the partners, instead of which you are writing only for Z here. So let us check what is the opening balance of capital for Z. Here you have 70,000. So written on credit side 70,000. Done? Then adjustment number 1. This is Z died as on 31st/12/16, and your accounting year is 1416. 1416 is the beginning of the new accounting year, and Z died before the completion of accounting year, that is 31/12/16. So the time span of 9 months. Very first adjustment, share of profit for the period from the closing of the last financial year to the death on the basis of last year's profit to be given. Okay. Let us understand this. The very first working note. On the basis of last year, that is 2015-16, from 1/4/16 to till death of the partner, that is 31/12/16. Let me make this clear. See, here you have 31/3/16. So where does your accounting year begin? Obviously on 1/4/16, and where it will end? 31/3/17. You can write it down if you are facing any sort of confusion. Okay, your accounting year is 1/4/16 to 31st/3/17. So which is the previous accounting year? Obviously 1/4/15, 31st/3/16. The date is given here. Yes, and when did Z die? 31/12/16. So 1/4/16 to 31st/3/16. How many months it is? It is 9 months. Alright. And he is to be given the share in profit on the basis of last year's profit. Previous year. Which is the previous year from this? It is 15/16. The last one you can see. And the profit for that is given 60,000. Now on this basis, the share of Z is to be calculated. So here it is, Z's share in profit 60,000, and his share as per the old ratio. What is old ratio? 5:3:2. So this is 2/10. Please use your calci. So 60,000 into 2/10, further into 9/12. Why? Because the share is to be given only for 9 months out of 12 months, because he died before the completion of accounting year. Okay, so the share payable is ₹9,000. I will repeat this. 60,000 is the amount of profit for the previous year. Which is the previous year? 15/16. Why? Because the ongoing year is 16/17. 60,000 is presented here. On this basis, your first adjustment says that the share of profit is to be given till the date of death on the basis of last year's profit. Last year's profit is 60,000. This year is 1670. Last year is 1516. Yes? So now here is the calculation. 60,000 into 2 by 10. Why 2 by 10? Because this is the share of the partner who dies. Further, into 9 by 12. Why? Because the share is to be given only for 9 months. Okay, 9,000. So anything that is to be given to the partner is to be credited in his capital account. You can see on credit side, here it is, by profit and loss suspense account, 9,000. This is the point, I think, in the theory concepts that we have understood. The amount to be credited, the amount to be debited. There was the last point in each topic, or else in deceased partner's capital account, the last point on each side. If it is loss, then on debit side. If it is profit, then on credit side. I repeat, in deceased partner's capital account that we have understood in the previous lecture, in that the last point that we have written on debit side as well as on credit side is this concept. For better understanding, let us see which is our next adjustment. Goodwill of the firm is to be valued on the basis of twice the average of the past 3 years' profit. Okay, we are supposed to find out the value of goodwill here. This concept is already included in chapter 3, so this is not new. We can quickly find out the value of goodwill here. Last 3 years' profit is given, which is 80,000 plus 70,000 plus 60,000. We have a working note for this. Here it is. Average, so divide by 3. So what is average profit? 70,000, and they say it is to be valued twice. So into 2. 70,000 into 2. So the value of goodwill is 1,40,000. This is the value that we have obtained. In the previous sums that we have done, the value of goodwill was readily given. The new value of goodwill I am talking about. Here we were supposed to find it out. A little bit of twist in the adjustment we can say. So the new value of goodwill is 1,40,000. Now you know very well, whenever the partner retires or partner meets death, the amount of goodwill is to be given by the existing partners in their gaining ratio. Yes? But how much is the amount to be given to the retiring partner or the partner who meets death? Here Z has died. So obviously X and Y are supposed to pay the amount of goodwill in their gaining ratio to Z. So first of all, let us find out the share of Z in goodwill. Here it is, Z's goodwill equals to 1,40,000 into 2 by 10. How 2 by 10? The old ratio is 5:3:2. On such basis, it is 2 by 10. So the share of Z is 28,000. Who will pay this? X and Y in their gaining ratio. What is the formula for gaining ratio? It is new share minus old share. But in the given question, we are not provided with the new share or any other information except for old ratio. So the gaining ratio will be 5:3. Yes, we have understood this previously. When no other information is given, the old ratio itself is to be turned into gaining ratio. So you can see here gaining ratio 5:3 on the basis of old ratio that is given 5:3:2. Alright. So the amount of goodwill will be given by X and Y to Z in their gaining ratio. So 28,000 will be distributed in 5:3. How? 28,000 into 5 by 8. So X will pay 17,500 and obviously Y will pay 10,500. So this is not new. So who will get this share? Of course, Z. So this will be written on credit side of Z's capital account. Here you can see by X capital account 17,500, which means that X has paid 17,500 rupees to Z and Y has paid 10,500 to Z for the amount of goodwill. Yes? So we are completely done with the adjustments. There were only 2. Now let us check what is left to be recorded still in partner's capital account, that is the capital account of Z. Okay, on credit side, the capital of X, Y and Z is given. We have nothing to do with the capital balances of X and Y, as we are only supposed to prepare the capital account of Z. So things related to the capital account of Z are to be recorded in that particular account. Then we have general reserve. Of course, general reserve, the share of Z in general reserve is to be calculated and is to be credited in his capital account. General reserve is to be distributed among all partners in their old ratio. You know this very well. So what is the share of Z? It is 2 by 10. So 20,000 is general reserve given in your balance sheet and on liabilities side. So 20,000 into 2 by 10. So the share of Z is 4,000 written on credit side of his capital account, if you can see. Alright. Sorry. Then creditors, this is to be written in the new balance sheet and has nothing to do with the Z's capital account. So this is not to be written. Then on debit side, fixed capital, it is I think fixed assets. There is some printing mistake. Debtors, stock, cash, we got nothing to do with these items because we have not prepared any of the related accounts. So lastly, it is advertisement campaign expenditure. Yes, we are going to deal with this. This is to be written on debit side of partners' capital accounts. You know this very well. So obviously we are going to write it on debit side of capital account of Z. Here you can see to advertisement campaign expenditure 8,000. How 8,000? The total amount is 40,000. So 40,000 into 2 by 10. The share of Z on the basis of old ratio. This is obviously not a new concept. Still we are revising it. So 8,000 on debit side for advertisement campaign expenditure. Alright. So now lastly, we are done with everything, every required thing, every instruction we have followed in the given question. On the same basis we have prepared Z's capital account. So the last step in every sum is that you will total that account. Yes? And why have we prepared the capital account of Z here? So that we can calculate the amount payable to Z and the same amount is to be transferred in his executor's account. Because Z is dead. Fine then. We'll begin with the total. Please use your calci. You can see on credit side 70,000, the opening balance of capital, plus 4,000, the share of general reserve that we have obtained on the basis of old ratio. Then the 9,000, this is the amount of profit and loss suspense. This is actually, see, the accounting year has not been completed yet, but it has completed 9 months, of course, and the amount of profit is to be obtained at the end of the accounting year, but Z died before completion of accounting year. So this is the amount of estimated profit given to him on the basis of the last year's profit. Alright, so last year's profit, what it was? Here it is, 60,000. And what is his share? 2 by 10. And for how many months you are supposed to give? For 9 months. So this is how it has been calculated. So 9,000 has been credited again, and below, of course, this is the amount of goodwill given by X and Y respectively to Z. Yes, so the total for credit side is 1,11,000. So 1,11,000 minus 8,000. Amount of difference is to be transferred to the executor's account. Generally, amount of difference is termed as profit or loss in case of revaluation. In partner's capital account, it is the closing capital, closing balance of capital. And in case of retirement, it is to be paid either in cash or to be kept as a loan. But here the partner has died, so the amount of difference to be transferred to his executor's account because Z is no more. So finally we have calculated that how much amount is payable to the executor of Z. That is 1,03,000. How did we obtain this? We have deducted the total of debit side from the total of credit side, which is higher. This is the rule that we follow every time. While balancing any of the account, we are doing this. So 1,11,000 minus 8,000 gives you 1,03,000. This is the amount payable to the executor of Z. And that's all. We were supposed to calculate the amount payable to the executor of Z as per the instructions given here. And we have obtained the same. Yes? Why we did not deal with the other items mentioned in the balance sheet? Because we were not supposed to prepare revaluation or a cash in bank or balance sheet. Yes, these things do appear in these respective accounts, but we are not preparing it here. So we have not recorded the remaining things. We were only supposed to record the things related to the capital account of Z. Hence, we have written all the related things and we have obtained the amount payable to executor of Z. The sum was quite simple and easy. I hope you were able to understand, but still I'll repeat the same thing. Please study the previous lecture, the first lecture related to the concept of death of a partner. Yeah? This was the new concept that we have started in the previous lecture, and this is the first lecture for illustration 24, and we have completed illustration 24 in today's lecture. So you will study this thoroughly, you will write it down in your fair book as well. And here is the homework for today, that you will complete illustration 24, and the sum similar to this is given in your exercise, that is sum number 16 on page number 272. So we'll see you all in the next session. Till then, stay home and study well.